Let's get right to it, dog, you know it's raw. Well, let me catch you if you're showing off. I wanted to get you, I hold it off. Thought he was solid, but told it off. Running the field with the underdogs. Don't want to get involved. I can admit it, I know what it's time, and I'm tripping, I gotta regroup. Niggas a fumble a bag, I get to the cash fast, gotta salute. I've been a hustler, look how I'm coming up. You running your mouth, better run it up. I'm running this shit like a big dog. Living my movie, they pissed off. Pushing the law, cause we in charge. They gon' play this in the synagogues. How do I feel? I'm feeling great. Bigger the problem, the bigger the plate. Making my move, that shit gotta wait. Ahead of my time, keep it in line. Put on their face, I just learned to keep it all to myself. Wait, a couple of niggas that hang with me that'll bang for me. If I'm doing bad, never change on me.
We the salt of the earth. We the motherfucking underdogs. We underestimated. You understand what I'm saying?
I got tunnel vision. There's a bunch of ways I'm gonna get it. It's my way or the highway. If you ain't fucking with it, do what I say or go about your fucking business and take this money with you. I ain't dealing with no fucking children. If they not my own, going by myself. I'ma die alone. These bitches catch my weight and more just hopping on. They hear what I make, it starts to turn them on. I think it's sorcery, the way they rob the bone. The black magic stick, they stopping by my home when I'm not even home. I'd rather be alone so I can conquer shit and I can see it wrong. I just keep popping shit cause I won't be here long. I'm hopping on the road and get my diesel on. She wanna drop it low and get her eagle on. My new bitch bad as fuck, she look like me alone. I came up from the dirt, was born right under y'all. And just like God of wine, said I just wanted ball. These niggas seasonal, I watch them leave and fall. The last gon' finish first, cause we some underdogs.
They say the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Nigga, we gon' rule this kingdom, nigga. This one West.
Fly to the sunset, fly to the moon fall. Those all said ghetto, then I got him, that's my doggy dog. Don't bark, got a mean bite, we them underdogs. Over off the wire, 5 yards, I'm pressing all of y'all. 9 niggas up like I'm director from a casting call. I don't give a fuck, you want beef, neck to all of y'all. UPK priest, lace up boost, and it's time to ball. The clip name Wendy, all these shells, I'ma let them fall. Niggas claim they better than like who they think they better than. One West soldier, best believe we got that metal in. Last name Cannon, cause I still got them drummers in. Kept I set that trapper, hell yeah, I'ma let them know. Underdog, you niggas tripping, we'll be popping or you sniffing. Real crafty with that smithing, locked in on the mission, rocking all out. Who to take the hop out, you be bitching, caught the crew time. Now the clock, put your nickel.
Every dog has his day.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he...
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep them fiending. If any try to shoot you, make sure that you leave them leaking. He said, I'ma hold you down when problems pop up. How you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said, don't you want the Benz Vertible with the top cup?
Yeah.
Stop, bitch, you get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's lock up. I know you know Ron. Who the plug from by the block up? I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, crib in Philly and Texas. Trips to the Bahamas, just got a bit for his mama. He fucking up them commas, be honest, he seemed decent though. I hear you, but I just seen Ron about a week ago. In fact, he ain't looking too good, his knees is kinda slow. I asked him why the struggle, he got stuck up for his bundle, but them 6 hollow tips in his legs what made him crumble. He got a house and mama is living good. Said the feds took it all, he right back in the hood. I see you try to play me, you gave us crack in the 80s. Made us abort our babies and making hoes out our ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than them cars when to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't face me. I guarantee that you gon' regret it. Remember I said it. No, you could dead it. What you saying, I can't win? No, devil, nice try. So until we meet again,
I ain't had to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious, but we've been getting fucked and put to the side like a mistress. Police patrolling why? Because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we riot, they send the military in armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die a martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like a farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights, patting me down. You got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I gave up my vice. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor, why you gave our homeboy's life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming out that he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's trife, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. Ask Trayvon, Mike Brown, Akai Gurley, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Alden Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil and said, I pray you die, every devil.
Pando, kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans get locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died. Y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew. You a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum. A gun that would die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth. I had to make it clear how Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947. Your menorah got 9 sticks. It's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world. Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs, bunch of thieves and culture vultures. Ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert. So tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, this the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard and they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, this is what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this is an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ. They the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas. They're a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. Niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4. I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
All right, let's clap it up. Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. It's like you're not coming back, or you? Okay, no, so I will take this chair there. Bye. All right, Slacky. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. It's the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class, where we get into the scriptures and break down the scriptures from a linguistics perspective. I mean, it's a huge part. We always say every Friday we have to remind brothers and sisters this is a huge part of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans relearning their culture and identity. We've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth about their culture and identity according to the Bible since 1969. But if we neglect the language, the linguistics part of our culture, then we're gonna be leaving out a big part of our of what we do in the ISUPK. Which is the whole point of what we do in this school is to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to separate from their oppressors' culture and put on our culture. but you know what I mean, we can understand the Bible in our culture, and you know what I mean, this history book all, you know what I mean, all day. That's all fine and dandy. That's important as well. But if we understand our culture, but we still have our precious tongue, you know what I mean, our precious language in our mouth, then uh then we, you know what I mean, we're still gonna have these language barriers, you know what I mean, amongst Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like you know what I mean, and all our you know what I mean, brothers who went through different captivities, like the you know what I mean, the so-called the Benjamites, the so-called West Indians who speak patois, you know what I mean, or the brothers who speak Creole in Haiti, the brothers who speak you know what I mean, we speak all these different languages, Spanish and English, you know what I mean, we have these language barriers that makes us furthers the lie that we're different people, that we aren't family. You know what I mean, we're looking at our Hispanic brothers and sisters as if they aren't our family. They didn't go through the same captivity we went through, you know what I mean, the same type of captivity, even if it was a different time period or a different area of the world, it's still the same captivity. But we're looking at them as if they're not our brother and our sister because they speak a different language. So we look at it as if they got their culture. I mean, they have their own country. I've heard a lot of brothers say that as well. But we don't understand the depth of the oppression on those people, because we a big reason why we don't understand it is because the language barrier. So again, you know what I mean, that's just one example of how important it is for us to understand this language. You know what I mean? So that even though we might live in different lands, you know what I mean, we might have different inheritance, like, you know what I mean, how we had in the Bible. We might have different inheritances in different lands that we lived in. You know what I mean? We can still be one family. We can still be one body because we speak one language. You know what I mean? But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Again, you know what I mean, for you know what I mean, for the Lashawan Qadash class is good preparation for Sabbath service, which is where we rehearse the, you know what I mean, we go through the Bible, read the Bible in Hebrew, break it down into English as well, go through the prayers, and rehearse our culture in its entirety. You see brothers with the garment down to the foot. You know what I mean, you see all the ornaments. The Torah gets open. You see here the scroll here gets open. You know what I mean? You see the practices that we, matter of fact, speaking of, Lockheed. I'll get to it in a second. But you see, you know what I mean, the frank and myrrh burning. You see, you know what I mean, the ornaments getting used and moved around during Sabbath service. Friday night is good preparation for that. You know what I mean? So that we can understand what we're reading and what we're saying. All right. So we gonna let me share my screen. Lock you. Gonna share my screen. We're gonna go in the Bible Hub and go to Genesis, where we picked up in Salakia, where we picked up in Sabbath service. Which was Genesis chapter 4 and verse 19. That's what we're gonna be picking up. That's what we're gonna be picking up tomorrow. So we just gonna go through the scriptures. We're gonna practice. We're just gonna practice reading and speaking the Hebrew. All right. You know what I mean? When you're learning the language, there's a lot of different components. Especially, there's a lot of different components to like learning the language. You got reading, just like English. You know what I mean? You got reading, speaking it, writing it, and eventually teaching it. And I mean, during class, we try to hit on all those different components. Sometimes one at a time, sometimes all at once. Sabbath service, we're gonna be doing. Sabbath service is heavily based in like reading and speaking in Hebrew. All right, so that's what we're gonna kind of usually we hone in on like the writing, the writing portion, the writing and the reading portion of the Hebrew, and part of the teaching. But tonight we're gonna go into the reading, see, you know, see how we Salakia. Just kind of get a feel of it, get a feel of how it is during Sabbath service. All right. I'll give y'all a second to get there. Genesis chapter 4 and 19. If you got any, you need any help getting to, you need any help getting to Bible Hub or using it for whatever reason, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. If you got any questions or comments, put them in the chat. If you got a question live in the class, you can always raise your hand. And as always, if you need anything specific broken down, to where we got to go to the board or whatever the case is, feel free to ask. You know what I mean? Don't not ask your question because you think we have a particular topic. This is class and it's student oriented. So if you know what I mean, you got a question that we can deviate from what we're talking about now or the topic, the original topic, and then go into what you need a better understanding of so that you can make progress. I mean, what's the point of being in class if you can't make progress? Right? That's how the Christian church does, where they just go up there, they just say a bunch of garbage and nobody makes any progress. That's why you got, you know what I mean, the same issues all across the board in Christian church. You got, you know what I mean, adultery, you got sexual assault, you got abuse, you got LGBTQ activity, you got all these problems because nobody's making progress in there. So with that, ask your questions. Give y'all a second to go to Bible Hub. Let's get this Frank and Murray. Water. All right, so I'm gonna read the first. What's this? The first verse. All right, and kind of break it down as I go through it, and then the second verse, verse 20. If you want to grab the mic, I'll let you read. Well, I'm gonna read the first one, but verse 20. It's not on. I got you. What? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and read this real quick. I'm gonna break it down as I go. The book of Genesis, chapter 14. Let me see, make sure my screen shared, make sure I'm on. Ooh, let's see what I can do about this. Let me see. All right.
The Bluetooth is ready to pair. The Bluetooth is connected successfully.
That's not Bluetooth. It's
the radio mode. The Bluetooth is the radio mode.
Is it on? You probably just turn it off and turn it back on. It'll go right back to it. And then you just push this. I try it real quick. There it is. Try it. There it is. Do a mic check real quick.
Mic check. Yeah,
I hear it coming through. Oh, there it goes. Most High Christ. All right, we good. All right. Book of Genesis, chapter 4 and 19. Again, we in Bible Hub. If you're watching online, it will be in your best interest to, you know what I mean, have Bible Hub with you and be reading along. At least follow it along. All right. I'm gonna break it down slow, so it should be pretty easy to follow along. All right. And If you got any questions, you go ahead type them in. If I don't get to them or if I don't see them, I probably won't see them until after class. So I'll just respond to them in the chat, and then you should get a notification directly to your phone with the answer. And as always, you know what I mean, feel free to, if you're in the Killeen area, you know what I mean, feel free, or Killeen, Belton, Temple, Waco, Cove, you know what I mean, wherever you at in the area, the surrounding area, you always feel free to pull up, and we can, you know what I mean, have a in-person discussion about whatever you need to learn more about regarding the Hebrew, or anything for that matter, but this is the Hebrew class, Salakia. All right, so Genesis chapter 4, verse 19, Waya Kwak. All right, so that Waya should be real easy to identify. That Waya that you see in the middle or in the beginning, see if I can highlight it, Salakia. That Waya should be real easy to identify. That Waya you're gonna see all the time. It's and, well, I should add. What's Waya mean? You know? Go ahead. Waya. Waya. So the wa means and. It's all right. It's all, everything you need is right there. Let me move this out the way as well. But it's two prepositions. I'll give you that. It's just two prepositions. Waya. Because it's gonna, after that, it's gonna be the root word. But if you they should be able to hear you on the almost. Oh yeah, Most High Christ. Yeah, I meant to tell you about that. But if you they should be able to hear you on the microphone as well. So if it keeps on tripping, you could just speak as normal, and then we'll just move forward.
It would mean would mean he or his.
So waya, anytime you see waya, and I'm saying waya like that because you'll see it often, and it'll be followed by usually a verb. And he this, and he that, and he spoke, and he said, and he did, and he, in this case, so we know waya is the two prepositions, and prepositions come before a what?
Before the become before the root word.
Right. So that means quack is a root word. All right. Quack means took or to take. We look at the you click the concordance code, and it's going to say that it's going to say exactly that. It says la quack. The definition is to take. La just means to. Quack is take. All right. So anytime you see quack, qua, and a ha next to each other, it's take. All right. So waya quack, and he took. This is talking about lineages. So you're gonna see a lot of things like this. I know this is kind of like tedious to read and maybe like a scripture breakdown. It's not something you would ask for a scripture breakdown in usually, unless you have a question about like somebody's lineage. But I know it's tedious to read, but like it's really like reading these lineages is really helpful in the Hebrew because you get a lot of repetition. So you get, and such bore such and such had such and such, and it's a lot of names and a repetition. All right, and that's how you retain like root words. So waya quack, and he took. All right, so I'm gonna read it all the way through. So waya quack lawa lamak shapya nashayim shum ha'achal slakia. Ha'achath, Aida, Salakia, Washam, Ha'shayath, Salakia, Shanyath, Tazallah. All right. There's a couple of things I'm gonna break down in here as well that you want to just keep in mind. So Wayakwak and he took. Lawa. La is a preposition that means to. Wa is a possessive Salakia. That means he or he, his, or it. Or him, Salakia in this case. So Lawa to him. Or to himself or for himself. Salakia. La also means for. La means to or for. Right? So Lawa for himself or to himself. Lamak is Lamech's name in Hebrew. Shafia is to. All right. Slakia. Nashayum. Nashayum. All right. Is any brother Nashayum is wives. Is a brother remember what the word for wife is singular? Or woman. It's the same word. I think we talked about it last week. Or if not, matter of fact, I don't think it is. Let's go ahead and click the concordance code since it's a new topic, all right? So the word for wife or woman, you see right here, it says woman, wife. The word for wife or woman is asha. Asha. Right? So how do we go from asha to nashayim? Okay, this doesn't happen too often, but nashayim is an irregular plural. So when like in English, some like you got irregular plurals in English as well, like goose, geese, things like that. It's the same concept. So just for wife and husband as well, or man and woman as well. I'll break that down in a second. But when you pluralize wife, the root word goes from asha to nasha, and then yum is the plural, the pluralization tense. Right. The plural for the word for husband or man is ayash. Ah, ya, and sha. Right. That's the word for man or woman, or it's like a man or husband. The plural, it's the same concept. The plural for man or husband is an irregular plural as well. So the man will be ayash. Men would be anashium. Anashium. All right. So that's just why that's just an irregular plural. You'll see it it's not I haven't seen too many words that are irregular plurals like that, except for heaven and earth are irregular plurals as well. Like how you say heaven will be shemayim. Heaven is shemayim for heaven is the same word that you would use for heavens, plural, or what's it called? Or Salakia, waters, water. So mayum is water. Waters is mayum as well. So it doesn't change. All right. So shum is a root word that means name. Shum, like in a salute, Yahweh Bahasham, that's in the name. So shum means name. All right. Should be especially since we use it in a salute, should be a sight word. So it should be a word that you just know off the top of your head. Like what you were saying earlier about, I think off camera or off mic, when you was talking about when we was reading Sabbath service, it was certain words that I was just able to boom, boom, I just knew off the. It's because of that, just sight words. Certain words just become sight words. Like the Lord's name should be a sight word. Alahayim should be a sight word. You know what I mean? Things like that. And especially like if we're talking about a specific topic, eventually words in that topic should become sight words as well. Like I think before we started from Genesis, the first chapter, we was talking about Jacob and his wives. So their names, like Jacob in the Hebrew, Yaquab, I can't remember Leah. Rebecca, I believe, is Rabakwa. Laban is Laban. You know, the name should be sight words once we're on that topic. Things like that. But yeah, Shum, you know, we use that far too often for it not to be, you know what I mean, something that's locked in. And if it's not locked in now, over time it will be. Especially, you know, reading in the Sabbath service. That's why I wanted to kind of do it like this on a podium, reading from Bible Hub, so that we can, you know, I mean, get that repetition. Tapazar made an excellent point last week as well. Like he said himself, like he personally didn't learn the Hebrew from like coming to class, reading and writing it, which is it's excellent to come to class. I'm not saying don't come to class, but he said he learned it from repetition because he's the head of the Sabbath service in Killeen, so he has to read the Hebrew a lot. And I saw it. I saw how he like when he first started, he was kind of like, you know, stumbling over certain, you know what I mean, certain things. But like after like a week or two, like he had it. You know what I mean? And it's just from that repetition. So I know this ain't usually how we do class, but it's important that we get this repetition, especially if we're not, you know, if we're not something like if for whatever reason we're not able to make it to Sabbath service, or like at one point wasn't, you know, usually able to come up and read. So you don't really get to see it, you know what I mean, live in front of you and read from it as often. So it's good to just look at it. And as well as you read, and you'll get questions and you'll get the language on your, you know what I mean, get used to speaking the language, which is very different from reading and writing it. I know a lot of times a lot of brothers can read in their head and it's like you fluent reading it. And then like you speak, once you start speaking, it's like you start stuttering or you kind of like fumble over certain things. So speaking it is important as well. All right, so the next one, ha, achath. All right. So ha, right? Ha is Slakia. Ha is the preposition meaning the, right? Akath comes from the word akkad. Akkad means one, right? You see it right here. Akkad means one. And then that tha at the end just represents categories because we're talking about his wives, right? So akath, ha akath. And numbers, like you'll notice, like numbers are kind of weird with like when you add a possessive or like a tense to the number. A lot of times you'll see that like earlier we read two, it was shafya. Shafya comes from the word shanya, which means Salakia, which means two, Salakia. I don't know what else. But it comes from the word for two. But when you're talking about like when you're numbering things, or when you're talking about like ordinal numbers, like first, second, third, fourth, or you're numbering things, you might see that tha, like that tha will be in there. But just know that that's where it derives from the word for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And it's good. That's another thing too. We might, if I can, you know what I mean, I'll try to squeeze it in after we get through a couple verses, but it's good to brush up on your numbers too. Like first you start off with the letters, Abagada Hawaza, get real familiar with your letters, and then your numbers as well, because your numbers will help you. Those will just be more sight words. Like the more topics you learn, just like you learned in like grade school, like the more topics you learn of a language, the more you can kind of add to your vocabulary. So you, after you learn the alphabet, then you can go into like numbers. Then you learn the numbers, and then now that's part of your vocabulary. Then you learn body parts, and then now the body parts are part of your vocabulary. So when you see them in the scriptures, it's one less word you got to fumble over. All right. Where we at? Ida, that's just the name of his wife, Ida. All right. That's all that is. You want to go on the mic? You want to finish it off? You getting a lot of them right.
Next one would be Shem, because you said earlier in other words, you said name was Shem.
Khan.
Another one would be Hashem.
It's Ha. Okay, so it's Ha.
Shem Yatum.
Ha Shanyath. So that's a thought at the end. Shanyath. Shanyath. Right. And if you click on that concordance code, you already know what that Ha is, right?
Khan.
Right. It's what?
Ha would be the
Khan. And like, okay, look at the English real quick underneath.
Yeah, is it of the second?
Khan. So what do you think Shanyath?
Second?
Khan. That's Khan. That's all that is. It's built off of the word Shanya, which means 2. But you make it an ordinal number. 2 is a cardinal number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are cardinal numbers. Ordinal numbers are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And you'll see a lot of those in the scriptures, ordinal numbers. Sometimes you might see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but a lot of times when you're numbering things, 2 wives, second wife, first wife, second wife, first son, second son, first lamb, second, things like that. So it's important to know your numbers and then know how to turn a cardinal number to an ordinal number. So that's all this is. Shanya will be 2. Shanyath will be 2nd. So I'm gonna go through the numbers real quick. So 1 through 10 is Akkad 1, Shanya 2, Shalash 3, Arabai 4, Chamash 5, Shasha 6, Shabai 7, Shemawanah 8, Thashai 9, Ishara 10. All right. You get those, you lock in with 1 through 10 and just say it like you say the alphabet. So Abagada Hawaza, you say your numbers: Akkad, Shanya, Shalash, Arabai, Chamash, Shashai, Shabai, Shemawanah, Thashai, Ishara. And you just do that. You get used to that pattern, and then you can add that to your vocabulary, and it'll be something that you don't have to think so much about or fumble over. When you see it, you'll just recognize it, especially when you peek down at that English. You'll be like, okay, this is second, so I know we're going to be dealing with Shanya, and then you just add the tha at the end to make it a ordinal number. All right. If we got time, I'm gonna write it on the board. We'll go through it, so it'll just be up there, so you can just see it, because you're gonna need it on Saturday. So that's what I'll do at the end. So just remind me, so we because I don't want to go too far over. All right. And then Tazalah is just the sister's name, or the woman's name. I'm not sure. I don't think this is a. I think this is a Israelite. I'm not sure though. All right. You want to take verse 20?
Book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 20. La, 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 la,
Okay. Remember as well on those last two characters. Yeah. So not Lada, but Wata Lad. Lad. Think of it like like in English, right? When you see just pronounce it how you would see like a D in English. D is the. So you just add the D sound at the end. Not da, but the. Like the. So the lad. Just like you would in English. Ida, right? And also I wanted to go into this lad or yelad salakia. Yelad is the root word, right? Salakia.
Your ball.
Say that again.
The ball.
Oh, where you?
On next one down.
Oh no, I went back to the first one, Salakia. I'm just breaking it down a little bit. So I don't know if you remember this. We talked about it. The na in the at the beginning of a word, when you add a preposition to it, that na changes to the preposition. Did we talked about that a little bit? Does that sound familiar at all? Okay, so it does sound familiar. That I'm bringing that up because obviously there's no na here, but I'm bringing it up because the ya does kind of a similar thing as well. Like a lot of times you'll see like in certain words, not all the time, not as from what I've seen, not as often as the na, but a lot of times when a root word starts with a ya, that ya will just replace, or that ya will be just replaced by the prepositions, right? So yalad becomes lad. Lad means to bear or birth. So to bear, to bring forth, to beget. So when you're looking at lineages, or when you're talking about we was talking about Jacob and his 4 wives when they was having children, you saw that word lad a lot because they was having a baby race. You know what I mean? One was having a baby, and then the other one was trying to have a baby, and this, that, and the third, and it was just babies. You know what I mean? And that word was just lad. All right. That just comes from yelad, right? The watha lad is and you bore, and thou bore, which is you. And then the you is Ida. We're talking about this woman who's, and then so start from Ida or after Ida, Salaki. Go ahead. In verse 20.
Verse 20, the bottom. Yabal.
You read the
after Atha.
Ath. Atha meaning you has a ha at the end. So if it's Atha, it'll have a ha at the end. If there's no ha, then it's Ath. And Ath is just the connector. So Ath in this case is just going to connect Ida with who she bore or who she gave birth to. So that like you see underneath, it's just a dash. It's just a red dash. It doesn't have according to Bible Hub, it doesn't have a definition. It's just like a conjunctional phrase to join one thing to another. All right, so ath, and you'll see that a lot as well. So whenever you see it like that, just ath.
Your ball.
Khan. Your ball is just her son's name. All right, go ahead.
Hawaya.
Not Hawaya. Khan. That's Hawa'a. Hawa'a. Yeah, perfect. Hawa'a just means he. It's just a formal way to say he. If you're like not as a possessive, right? How would you say he is a possessive? Or it's like you're not a possessive preposition. Oh, select. Yeah, preposition, select.
I would say it's a preposition.
Yeah, it's a preposition. Like if it was in front of a root word.
It would be wa.
Con. So if you sometimes you'll see wa expressed to or there to express he. Sometimes you'll see hawa'a. Hawa'a. It just means he as well. All right. Con. This is where fake Israelite groups get calling calling the Most High a haya. Haya. As a preposition means I. Haya means am or be or was in this case. But that's where they get it from, just to let you know. But haya also is a word that you're going to see often because it's a word that's just common in language. You know what I mean? So was, be, am, haya. Anytime you see haya, it's was, be, am, and things like that. Perfect. And you want to break that down for the people?
Our preposition would be the preposition would be I would be the.
La'a. No preposition here.
Con. So is just a root word father?
Con. What's the root word?
It would be abaya.
Let me see. Or did you click on the concordance code? So you knew off the. How did you know that was father? I'm just curious.
I just know like it's one of my sight words.
Come, Most High Christ, and he absolutely should be excellent. Go ahead, Slacky. You was about to say something.
No.
So Abba from sight words, from your sight words is father, right?
Okay.
Also, you click the concordance code, it'll tell you the same thing, and you look down at the English. Right there in Bible Hub, it'll tell you the same thing, father. So, and then go ahead. So what would the Yah be?
The Yah will be it would be possessive. It would be me. Is at the end. Right.
You know what? That's a good question. And Bor Ida, your ball.
That kind of would confuse me. So I see the duh, so I figured the father. So I said
Con. I wonder. That's a good question. I might have to ask that. Why is that Yah there after father? And he was. So like, let me read it in the English. I'm just curious. Where we at? Genesis chapter 4, verse 20. Genesis chapter 4. 20. And he was the father of such as dwell in tents, such as have cattle. All right, I would have to ask that why that Yah is there. I don't think it's meant to be. I don't think it means me or my. And there's no buffer there's no way for it to be a buffer because there's nothing after it attached to it. Like there's no tense or anything attached to it. So I would have to just ask about that. But you go ahead, read on.
Yashabab.
Yashab. Khan. Did that sound familiar? Yashab? Well, in Sabbath service, when we start Sabbath service, we'll say Imadium, which means to stand, and then we'll do the prayers, and then after the prayers, we'll say Yashab Yom, which means to sit. All right. So in this context, it just means to dwell, to sit, remain, dwell. All right. But that's why it sounds familiar. And a lot of times, like I'm asking that because like a lot of times using your environment will help you understand the Hebrew. Like using, like a lot of times, like we just say things like in Sabbath service, we just say things in the Hebrew. Pretty much the whole service is in Hebrew. Like we just speak Hebrew. And you'll just like a child, like you don't really go into deep breakdowns when you're teaching your child English like a baby. You just talk to them. You just talk to them like a regular person, and then they eventually pick it up, and they start to make connections. Like, okay, this means this. This means this. Like my daughter, she don't really speak. She's not speaking right now, but she kind of babbles. Like she'll just babble, but she understands things. So I'll have her do things. I'll tell her, pick that up, put that in the trash. Like she has like a tablet, and I'll tell her, like, if it's too loud, I'll just tell her turn it down. And even though she doesn't speak English, she understands what I'm saying when I say things. But it's just like that. So like in Sabbath service, we'll just say things like Imadium, Yashabyum, which means, we'll explain it too. Like we'll say which means to sit. But I mean, you'll just pick it up, and eventually you can use those things to kind of help you work through the Hebrew, like we doing tonight. All right, go ahead, read on. Did you just forget that last part?
I have trouble with that. Just take that last A on.
Color. Yeah, just like that. Just like how you would speak. Let me see. Get my board real quick. Just like how you would speak English. Like, let me see. Like this word right here, right, is ball. Now you don't pronounce it ba-la-la, right? It's just like English. You pronounce the sound of the character rather than its name. And that's what you're doing at the end with the Hebrew. Instead of saying la, you just say, you just pronounce it with the last character. So instead of ahala, it's ahal. Ahal. All right. And that's why we practice in the night. Like you're going to read enough root words tonight to where, if not this class, by next class, you'll have an understanding on how to put it all together. So it'll be a little bit easier for you. All right. Then the last word.
Maybe a
almost. Con. Wamanakwa.
Drop that better.
Oh, Wamakwana. Yeah. And that ha, I'm trying to think of how I can explain this. It's now we'll help you through it.
I did pretty good.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
I did pretty good.
Absolutely.
Picking it up a lot faster than we did.
No, real talk. And a lot of brothers, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of brothers Try to run from the Hebrew.
They be running.
Yeah, like that's why Officer Shapai, he said, I'm gonna call on the, like when he call up a brother, he like, I'm gonna call on a brother who don't meet my eyes. Like, you know, but when they say next priest, come and state your registry, brothers be like, yeah, I gotta go. All of a sudden, everybody gotta go to the bathroom.
They know it's coming.
He gonna call you like, nah, brother, come get this Hebrew, and then so that's usually the spirit behind it. But and that's the crazy part, because like it's such an easy language. It's so easy once you just put your foot in it, just get in it. It's real easy. And then the little things that you kind of have an issue with, you know what I mean, dealing with, and we can just address those directly. But other than that, like the language is easy. Right. All right, you want to go ahead and read on?
I'm coming down. The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 21. Awa Shema.
Well, this is the same.
Shema. I know his name.
Khan. How you say name?
Washum.
Khan. Exactly. Washum and the name and name. Close. Now look at the English. Just peek down at the red.
Of his brother.
How you say brother in Hebrew?
Khan.
So try it again.
Our what is Khan there?
Because that's part of that's how you spell ach. It's ach. That's how you pronounce it properly. We say ach because we're just comfortable with the language, but to pronounce it properly is ach. But that Khan or Slaki, it's
aqua.
You forgot one character after ak, not aqua, but
what is that?
Khan. And that's a perfect example for what I was talking about earlier. Like just having those sight words or just peeking, like if you're having a hard time like working through a phrase, you just look down at that English and it reminds you like, okay, the word is brother, so I know ak. Ak is the root word. So I don't have to fumble over aha yawa because I know the root word is ak. So you just ak and then you add the the possessives at the end. So ak yawa. You know what those prepositions or those possessives what those mean, or what those characters' purpose is there.
And the yaw is not in this case not a buffer.
It is a buffer. That's what it would be. Yeah. And then the what?
The what would be so it would be a preposition. It would be he or his.
A possessive, that means either he or his.
Yeah, that was the possessive. That would be he or his. So in this case, it's a possessive, so it would be he or his.
All right, so so ak yawa. So his brother. All right, go ahead, read on.
Yawa ball.
And that's just a man's name. All right. A lot of times, like names don't necessarily have any like rhyme or reason to it. It's just a brother's name. Like especially like I'm not sure if these are heathens that we're talking about right now. Let me see. Let me make sure. I don't want to make anything up. Oh yeah. This is talking about Cain and his lineage. But a lot of times, like not every time, like sometimes you'll see a Ya'ala, like Gabar Ya'ala, Ar Ya'ala, Khan. The Ya'ala is of the Lord, or the Lord's such and such. Like the Lord's warrior. Gabar Ya'ala. Gabar means warrior. Ya'ala is of the Lord, or the Lord's. Awan Ya'ala, the strength of the Lord's strength. Uh, what else? Our Ya'ala. Our Ya is lion. Ya'ala, or Allah is the power. All right, so same deal. A wand as well. You might see a wand in a brother's name. Wand just indicates that this is now a word that's turned into a proper noun for the use of a brother's name. What else? There was one other one. Oh yeah, Yah, like Yah Bakan, Yah Ramak. Let me think. I'm trying to think of a brother in this zone. Yah Hawashai. It's just that Yah is just he or his. And then the word after that is a root word. So Yah is he or his. Hawashai means deliver. So his deliverer. Yah Ramak, his javelin. Yah Bakan, he is tested. So a lot of times you'll see that in a brother's name. I'm not sure about this name. Let me see if it's a. As a matter of fact, did you ever get Hebrew to English dictionary on your phone or anything like that? Okay. There's a Hebrew. Slacky, you was about to say something?
I was going to say no with an I.
Okay, no sweat. There's a Hebrew to English dictionary up there on the bookshelf. It's up to you if you want to take a look at it. As a matter of fact, I'm just curious about this. It's not really part of the lesson, but just for you, there is a Hebrew to English dictionary in the concordance in the back. But you don't have to go into it right now unless you want to. All right, no sweat. I just want to find out if this is this name is what I was just describing. That Yah usually means his, and then the characters after that usually is a root word. So I'm gonna just look up Wabal, and that's also how you good example, or that's also a good example of how you build your vocabulary as well. Like you go to Passover. Was you at this Passover?
Oh my God.
And you meet brothers. You meet sisters, and they tell you their name. And then after they tell you your name, after they tell you their name, what's usually the next question?
What's your name?
Say that again.
What's your name?
Or
you introduce yourself.
Khan. Okay, so okay. After that, like I say my name is Kal Kazai, right? You ask me what my name is, I say Kal Kazai. It's a different language, so typically you may ask that brother, what's your name mean? Right. And then or you'll introduce yourself like, my name is this, and what's your name mean? And that's a good way to build your vocabulary as well, because brothers' names is just built off of words. So that's the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm just curious what this if it means anything, because it could be nothing, but it's just part of the work. And if it's definitely not a bad thing to be curious about your culture. Like this, you should be curious about your culture, right? Because it's yours. No, that's the only way we're gonna get this language. This oppressor's language off our out of our mouths, just by being curious about what's ours. Do it just like a regular dictionary. So this man's name is Yahwabal. All right. So what I'm doing right now is just looking up and see if Wabal is a word. And there's no word in the concordance that has a wa. Starts with wa and is followed by ba. So that's not the case here. So his name is just Yahwabal. All right. All right, Slakia for all that. You go ahead and read on.
Hawa, Hawa, Hawaha,
Hawa Khan, which
Hawa,
means Khan.
Ha, Hayaha, Hayaha,
Khan. Oh, Salakia, Hayah,
Haya, Haya.
which means
Was,
huh?
was,
Right. Or what else? What else? We just talked about it a second ago in the last verse. If you don't remember, you could just click the concordance code.
Ha means to fall out, come to pass, become, or be.
Con. So B was well, what else was it? Salakia.
To fall out, to come to pass, become, or to be. I mean, it's like a be.
Con. It is most common or practical usage. You'll see was, be, it was one other. It was one other thing. And you'll see if you scroll down, it'll have a whole bunch of its different uses.
Oh yeah.
Am, that's what I said. That's what it was. Am, be, become.
It's like a lot of synonyms.
Con. And that number that's next to it, it just shows how many times it's used. All right. So like I see
Have has 90 times.
Con. Became 85 times. Am 13 times, which is where again where the fake Israelites get I am that I am. Ahaya. Am 13 times. Been is 90 times. Came is 358 times. But also, this is also the NASB translation. I'm not sure what is NASB. Not sure if that's. I want to make sure that's not is that a translation of the Bible? You know, the NASB. Let me look it up. NASB. Yeah, New American Standard Bible. All right. So a lot of these. So this is in regards to the New American Standard translation, which is not a translation that we use because that's a thought for thought translation. The King James is the most accurate translation because it's a word for word translation. The other translations, like the New American Standard, the New Living, New International, all these new translations, those are thought for thought translations, meaning whoever was reading the Bible, they thought that this what this meant, and then they just wrote down what they thought. So that's why we don't use those versions, because that's not the Bible. It's just what somebody thought about the Bible. You know what I mean? But so that's just how it's used in that particular translation. But it can be used as a guide. It's not something that you want to take and make, you know what I mean, make doctrine. It's not something that you want to take take for face value. Take it with a grain of salt. But it can be used as a tool to like help you kind of understand what's being said here. Right? Especially for words like haya, which is used often. It's just like what they call it, a conjunction, or I can't remember the parts of speech. It's been a while since I've been to school. Salakia. But words like this that's common, was, things like that. He, his, it, the, where, why, things like that. It's good to use those the translations and the list of how many times that word was used like that, or for that word, just as a guide. All right, Salakia. I don't want to get too far off track. You go ahead, continue reading on.
Abaya.
Abba. Remember, Abba is what?
Abba is father.
Right.
Abba.
And then you just add the ya at the end. Again, I gotta ask about what the purpose of that ya is, and I have an answer by what's up?
So it's ba'a
No, it's Abba.
Abba.
Abba is father, and they just add the this character at the end. Yeah, Abba. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me screenshot this right now before I forget, and I lose it forever. And that's also it's also why it's important to read the what's it called, the Hebrew and Bible Hub, because that's how you learn the language as well. Like that's how you learn how the language is used. Like when you see something that repeats over and over, like a concept that repeats itself, then you'll get a better understanding of why it's used that way. And you
so in this case, the Yah, we pronouncing the whole thing. We're not dropping the ear off. We pronouncing the Yah. So we Yah by Yah.
Abba Yah.
Abba Yah.
Yeah, Abba is like some usually, that's why I say usually the rule is that when you the last two characters in a root word, they connect usually, but that's not always the case. And then you add a possessive at the end or a tense at the end, and you just pronounce that separately as well. Did that answer your question or? Okay, most of correct. Like there's a couple words as well like that don't follow that rule. Like rakah, it's spelled like this. So like what I do on my marker. I just lost that marker that quick. I'm the only one up there. I ain't got nobody to blame but myself. Man, crazy.
Dry erase?
Yeah, I just had it. Oh wait. Oh, here it is, right here. Salakia. All right, Salakia. So you know what this character is right here?
Coming down Wa.
Oh, this one right here?
Wa.
Ra.
Ra.
And then this?
Wa.
Khan.
La.
Kha, yeah, Khan. So typically you would want to connect these two characters. So Ra, and then you'll want to connect these two, Rawach. But that's not the case. That's not the case with this word. With this word, these two characters connect, and this one stands alone. Rawka. So it will be spelled in English like this. Rawka. So not every word follows that rule. For the most of them do. So that's like when you're reading the Hebrew, that's how you want to approach it. But not all of them follow that rule. All right. I believe I can't remember, but I believe Rawak. Like if you were to connect these two instead, if you were to connect the last one like usual, I believe that's a different word. So Rawak, I think Rawak is a different word. I can't remember off the top of my head, or even if that's true, but there are words like that if you connect the characters in a different way, it just makes a completely different word. But that's not the usual case. That's just that's a rare case that you hardly ever see. The usual case is the last two characters connect. You had a question or a comment? You about? Okay, no sweat. Go ahead.
Call.
Khan. Which means?
All.
Khan.
Kapash.
Khan.
21, right?
Con. Okay, no song. Kind of remember to connecting those last ones, the last two. Kind of war. War is a harp, or like what we would call like a guitar, or like a stringed instrument, basically. That's so this particular son played instruments. All right, go ahead and read the next one.
I was Gabar. Well, I was Gabar. Well, I was Gabar. Well, I was God. Well, I God.
God. Well, I was God.
Well, I go. Well, I go.
Right. So this is.
I gotta drop that letter.
And what you did was perfect. Like you
I skip slightly. I try to skip the preposition. So I keep the preposition in my head. I move on to like I said, the root word. So I start pronouncing the root word first. Then when I get the root word down, I add the preposition to it.
That's an excellent method. Because that's pretty much what you're gonna end up doing in your head. Like anyway, as you read it, like that's what I do anyway. Like I separate the preposition and then I read the root word, or I read the root word. So wa, I will God. And sometimes like I do it deliberately. I do it deliberately as I read. Like I'm gonna read the next verse and I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I will God is just the flute. So this is talking about his son and the instruments that he plays. So kind of wa Ainagab and the flute. So he played the harp and the flute. Kanar wa Ainagab. I'm gonna show you just off your point. I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. And it's kind of like, especially during Sabbath service, like we got to get through these 49 verses. So I tend to do it fast. So yes, you might not notice it, but I'm gonna do it a little slower. So wa tazala, right? Wa is wa means and, right? A preposition meaning and. Tazala is the sister's name. So wa tazala, right? Gum. Let me go ahead and read it all the way through. So wa tazala, gum, hawa'a, yelada, ath, thawabal, kwayan, latash, call, tharash, Nachashath, Wa, Barzal, and that's another one as well. We're gonna get into that, but that's another one that doesn't follow the rule of how to connect the letters. Well, actually, let me go through it right now. So Wa, you see where I'm at? And iron, it's in the English. So it's so you would like, okay, so wa barzal is and iron. So you take off the preposition, you take off that Y, it leaves the root word barzal. All right, we'll write it up here, and then I'm gonna break it down. So barzal, what you would normally want to do, follow the rule. You would want to ba ra zal. So you would want to pronounce it ba razal naturally because that's the rule, right? But this one, you connect these two characters and these two characters. So bar zal in this particular word. All right, but that's just another word that doesn't typically follow the rule. You have something?
I guess in this case, correct me if I'm wrong. I guess in this case, since I know usually the root word is 2 to 3, and this one don't has a purpose. It's not possessive at the end. So I see what you're saying, trying to connect both of them together. But you don't have possession at the end. That's why you're saying that.
You said it doesn't have a possessive at the end, and that's.
But is it? I know they got 4 characters. I know it's 2 to 3 root word.
Right.
2 to 3 word letters that form a root word. And so the la is not the la in this sense is possessive.
La. There's no. I don't.
Possession.
Yeah, there's no la as a possessive on the list of possessives.
So that's why you say you connect in this case you connect both the first 2 and the last 2 you connect them together to form the word.
The easiest way to understand this is that it's just irregular. There's no when something is irregular in the language, there's not necessarily like a rhyme or reason to it. Like goose, geese, you know what I mean? Well, I'm trying to think of another like fish. Like why you don't say fishes? Like that would just be, you know what I mean? That's just a regular that would just be the rule, right? There's no rhyme or reason to why we say fish as singular or plural. It just is what it is. So that's the easiest way to understand this. It's just something irregular that doesn't